In today's news, ministers optimistic about future Brandywine Bay Beach development.
BVI allied with Capra to strengthen vector control.
Additional school year no longer mandatory for all senior students.
Training ship captain pays courtesy call to the British Virgin Islands.
Prominent captain pays. You just said that.
Yes, that's actually the
yes.
civil servant, prominent civil servant, Mr. Atricio Cito Smith passes away.
Yes, and a Canadian tourist dies in BVI shores. And 3 firearms found on USVI school campus. These and more stories when 284 News returns.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you for calling CCT. Trumpet speaking. How can I help? Well, so you know February is the month of love. Yes, and we all love data. And because we love you so much, yes, we decided to give double data. But wait, let me slow it down for you. Follow my voice. Activate any hero plan, double data. Activate any 2 gig plan, double data. It don't stop there. Pay your bill before February 12th and have a chance to win a lunch or dinner for 2. Yes, I said it. For 2.
Double the data and double the fun when you fall in love with our deals for the month of February. Activate a hero plan or 2 gigabyte data plan and get double data. That's enough for you and your boo or your crew. And don't miss out on the chance to win lunch or dinner for 2 if you pay your bill before February 12th. Activate any hero plan or 2 gigabyte data plan. Come enjoy the month of love on us.
Thank you for calling CCT. Have a blessed day. Hello, good afternoon. Thank you for calling CCT. Trumpet speaking. How can I help? Well,
Welcome everybody. It is Monday, February 24th, 2020. I'm Ron Grant.
And I'm Kyla Kenesha Forbes.
We are back from a short weekend, but nevertheless happy to be delivering your daily updates. Beginning our newscast, the BVI Environmental Health Division seeks to strengthen measures to prevent and respond to mosquito-borne diseases. This initiative is being done in collaboration with the Caribbean Public Health Agency under the 11th European Development Fund Program for Health Systems Strengthening Prevention and Response to Outbreaks of Zika and other mosquito-borne diseases in the Caribbean. As part of the project, a workshop to assist the implementation and monitoring of integrated vector management strategies was held last week from February 17th to the 21st. Facilitators included members of the Caribbean Public Health Agency. Chief Environmental Health Officer Mr. Lionel Michael thanked the facilitators, mentioning that the importance of vector control and building capacity in officers will benefit the overall territory. During the week, officers reviewed the existing and potential entomology laboratory facilities. They were trained in entomology laboratory techniques associated with the collection and data management and develop and implement feedback mechanisms for entomological indices and vector control for the field operations. The Ministry of Health and Social Development aspires to provide a caring and integrated system of health and social services that facilitates the recovery of human development and quality of life in the British Virgin Islands. Kyla, issues of such are very important to us. Too often we don't hear about it or talk about it until we have an outbreak.
Right.
But I'm happy to see that the Ministry of Health is taking proactive measures when it comes to mosquito-borne viruses.
I do agree. Now, viewers, over the weekend, Honorable Natalio D. Wheatley, in his capacity as representative of the 7th Electoral District, and Honorable Shireen Flax Charles, at-large representative and junior minister for Trade and Economic Development, met with the residents of Brandywine Bay to discuss the development of Brandywine Bay Beach. The project was one that had been promised by previous administrations but was never fulfilled. Now, Ron, this was a sentiment that residents echoed repeatedly
Yes.
over the course of this meeting. Viewers, as you can remember, the development of Brandywine Bay Beach first started in 2015. At that time, the beach was dredged, widened, and the beachfront was reclaimed, but the development plans was then stalled. Honorable Wheatley promised the residents a tourist attraction that will be envied by many, a place where families can gather and enjoy activities. The minister anticipates a 4 to 5 year timeline for the completion of this project. The government has entered into discussions with OBMI BVI about the designs and plans for the future beach development. Now, Ron, this meeting, the minister, alongside the at-large representative, had some great and huge plans for this beach. He spoke about a fisherman's wharf, a bandstand, water sports rentals, a boat ramp, vendor booths, a boardwalk, and a top-class restaurant and bar. This all sounds very, very
Sounds
exciting.
fascinating.
My only question would be, and I think for a lot of people, would be what makes it different from King Garden Bay, and even now we see Long Bay
Developing
developing
as well.
into that sort of tourist scene.
Well, Kyla, I think the question, what would be the difference, is a good question because we don't want to have an issue in the territory where offering over and over the same services. But let me just say, and I'm not a resident of the 7th District, but I am a voting member of this territory, and I'm happy to see the minister for the 7th District at least putting pen to paper and assuring the public and his constituents that something will be done with this beach. Because back in 2015, the former representative for that district, who was also the representative or the minister for natural resources
Yes.
and labor, along with his government, did an absolutely terrible job of developing that beach. A lot of money was spent, it was drenched out, and to this date, it just looks like an eyesore, a major, major eyesore. So I'm going to appeal to the minister of the 7th District, as well as the representative, Ms. Shireen Flax-Charles, who went on record and state that they're going to do this. We look forward to seeing it because it's totally unacceptable
I do
that
hope
public
so.
funds could be wasted in such a capacity. So we're looking forward to see what
I
happens.
think yourself, but also the residents of Brandywine Bay, they
Yes.
have been dealing with this for years, the promises, and they themselves are holding these ministers accountable.
Indeed.
So we do wish that this is a success.
All right, still ahead, training ship captain pays courtesy call in public schools. Additional year no longer mandatory for all students. After a word from our sponsors, you're watching 284 News.
What are you really running for, boss? You could have bust a hole in your head. But see, with the competition, which means you're about to bust a hole in your pocket.
I could get my modem, please.
Anyhow, I got something huge to show you.
I gotta be sick in your head.
Well, hold on, string bean. Tina kind of party. Check this. That's LTE1 for just about everyone. LTE2 for you and your boo. And hold on. Bam! Rate so low, you feel like you're free. That's LTE3 for you and the whole family.
Save even more on your internet with new pricing from CCT. Get LTE 2 now for only $149. Get LTE 3 for the new low price of $189. All packages are unlimited, so there's no overage charge. You don't have to run into Chaz for savings. Just stop by our store and sign up today. Come on over to CCT. Life Unlimited.
Viewers, welcome back to 284 News. Now, in the House of Assembly on February 20th, Honorable Natalia Wheatley announced the recently implemented additional school gear in all public schools in the BVI will no longer be mandatory for all students. The Minister of Education explained that once a student is able to obtain a B+ and above average, that student will be allowed to choose an accelerated track, which would still require them to complete the same graduate requirements, include credit requirements and examination passes, alongside their community services in the 2 years instead of the 3. Students who fail to to make that required GPA will then be required to complete the full 3-year program. Now, Ron, I don't know. I think this have kind of shocked the community, the back and the forth. I know when this was first implemented, a lot of persons were not necessarily in agreement
They weren't
with
supportive.
it.
Yeah, that's correct. One of the things that we see is a lot of the students, and I can say this from personal experience, having taught within the secondary school at the BVI High School, Elmore Stout High School, is a lot of students, we find that upon their graduation, not only are they young in age, but they're young in maturity. So unless they're going to a community college directly after, they have a really hard time finding their way within society, especially in the workforce. What I think that this extra year added was an opportunity for persons to get specialized training in the different aspects, whether they wanted to start their CXC, whether they wanted to do CAPE, that sort of stuff. But that being said, the present minister has seen it fit to, pull that plug. But what I think is a little bit confusing, it seems as though some can do it and some can't do it. So it seems as though it's based on a level of preference, whether you
preference, but more so performance.
So whether you perform well or not. What I think should be done is, if it's going to be done, let's
It
do
needs
it.
to
If
be
it's
done.
not going to be done,
Agreed.
let's stick to 2 years. But I don't necessarily agree with the option of allowing some who seemingly have the performance and some don't. I think it's a little bit of a inaccuracy in our system, and
Right.
it can have the potential to confuse our students as well.
I agree with you. But also, too, we have to look at international standards. You know, in a lot of countries, even the Caribbean countries, we have a 6th form. So the back and the forth, now it makes, or in some person's opinion, that our educational system is not steady.
It isn't steady, and I'll tell you this. I think we also, not only now, but we've struggled with an identity crisis for a very long time when it comes to education. We want to adapt some British systems, and then we want to adapt
Some
US
US
systems, and that in itself is confusing. So I hope that we could get to a point where we're on the same page.
Hopefully, and this initiative will take effect September 2020, and the minister said it will be revised in July 2021.
All right.
Still ahead, we have more 284 News.
All right. Well, before we go there, I have a story here that I'm going to pull out. Captain of the International Maritime Organization recognized training platform vessel, the MV Freewinds, and they paid a courtesy call on His Excellency, the Acting Governor, at that point, Mr. David Archer, and then Acting Premier, the Honorable Carvin Malone, Minister of Health and Social Development, last Tuesday. Captain Mike Napier shared his trip and cruise qualifications with the local officials and outlined plans for partnering with Virgin Islands agencies to provide internationally recognized training. The agencies, including the Department of Disaster Management, the Virgin Islands Shipping Registry, the BVI Ports Authority, Virgin Islands Fire and Rescue Service, and the Virgin Islands Search and Rescue. Then Acting Governor Mr. David Archer expressed his gratitude to the Freewinds representatives and encouraged them to continue their exemplary service. Archer said, and I quote, "I'm very impressed with what you are doing, that you are a part of the community, not just making a call and bringing passengers to enjoy our shores, but you are helping and serving while you are here." Then Acting Premier, the Honorable Carvin Malone, Minister of Health, he also said that he was particularly pleased to hear the traveler health considerations are part of the ship exercise offerings. Honorable Malone said, and I quote, "Globally, we are concerned about diseases like the latest coronavirus. I think we have a number of protocols in place that are appropriate, but it's encouraging to know that these measures are being followed and tested by the vessels." Mr. Napier has led the vessel for approximately 30 years and explained that while they are responsible to respond to port and ship emergencies, a few Caribbean emergency response or port security agencies have had the opportunity to work with cruise ships. He said, and I quote, "We want to share knowledge." He also added, "It is originally developed from a necessity that we saw among the destinations which we observed because we are part of the communities that we visit." MV Freewinds Port Captain Ken Weber, who also attended the courtesy call, added that the training fits well with the ship's various social betterment activities, such as human rights education and anti-drug abuse presentations for children. The ship is based in Clearwater, Florida, and first came to the territory in 1989. It is set to return to the territory this summer.
Great stuff, great stuff. Still ahead, a local basketball coach and fanatic passes away, and so much more. This is 284 News.
Is business slow, cash flow down, hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media at cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
When you need to stay connected with friends and families at home or abroad, the best choice for you is Freedom. CCT Freedom. With the lowest rates in the market, our Freedom plan gives you unlimited calls and texting. Plus, our Freedom One package includes 10 gigabits of super fast, unlimited LTE data and unlimited calls to the BVI, USA, USVI, Canada, Puerto Rico, and UK lines. Why pay for overages when you can enjoy CCT Freedom? Stop by at one of our stores today and speak with one of our representatives to find out more about our CCT Freedom packages.
Viewers, welcome back. You're watching 284 News. Residents of the East End Long Look community are mourning the passing of Andre Cito Smith, also known as Cito, a prominent Virgin Islands civil servant who was found dead in his vehicle parked at his residence in Long Look on February 20th. Cito, as he was affectionately known, was employed with the BVI Health Services Authority and was a basketball fanatic. Since his sudden passing, family, friends, and community members continue to share an outpouring of sentiments via social media. We want to take this time to wish his family our deepest condolences. And on another sad note, a Canadian visitor has died while vacationing in the Virgin Islands. Members of the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force have confirmed that the visitor's unresponsive body was sought from Pound Bay, Virgin Gorda, by the Virgin Islands Search and Rescue on Friday, February 21st at about 4:16 p.m. The visitor has been identified as 62-year-old female Agnes Cornwalk, who was sailing the shores of the Virgin Islands with her husband. Police are investigating the incident.
In the month of February, authorities have recovered 3 firearms in a number of high schools across the U.S.
Wow.
Virgin Islands. That's 3. That's a whole lot. And February isn't even finished
Indeed.
yet. In early February, the Ivana Eudora Ken High School was on lockdown at the end of the day while the campus was searched for firearms. A student had been taken into custody in connection with a robbery, and the suspect had a gun and ammunition in his possession on the school grounds, police said. A week later, a night school student brought a gun to the Charlotte Amalie High School and tried to hide the weapon on the school campus. The third incident took place early last week as a personnel at the St. Croix Central High School discovered a student armed with a pellet gun. The separate incidents have set off alarms throughout the Virgin Islands community and among top law enforcement and school officials. Now, the question, Ron, is where are these students getting these?
That's a good question, indeed.
This
and I
is-
think we need to be looking at perhaps some preventative measures as it pertains to security, as it pertains to our schools. It's mind-blowing and it's shocking.
But also, we have seen an increase in fights and violence in the schools over
In the US Virgin Islands,
US
yeah.
Virgin Islands. And it's alarming, as said before, to those officials, to school officials, but also to law enforcement. And they're really wondering, is this becoming the norm, or is this a hint as to what is to come?
I hope it's neither of the two, definitely. And I think we're thankful that while we have our issues over here in the BVI, we are
have
yet
to be
to see
thankful.
that level of indecencies as it pertains to firearms. So we have much to be grateful for over here in
Definitely.
Tortola.
But also in the Department of Education, they're having a debate about whether to, install metal detectors because now this gives a feel as though it's a mini prison.
Well, I mean, you're bringing guns to school, so it is
If
already
it comes
a prison.
to that,
yeah.
safety is always first. On March 19, schools and first responder agencies will participate in an active shooter drill across the territory. And I think that is very important. It's sad to see that it's coming to this, but proactive measures is always better than nothing at all.
And it's also important where we see institutions, both here locally and over in the U.S. Virgin Islands, should take this as a measure of spot checks. All those stuff are necessary. Principals should be a position where they could literally, once they have permission from the ministry, to just do random spot checks. I think we'll be surprised to see what we find.
Agreed. So viewers, that is it for today's news roundup. Be sure to log on to our website at 284news.com. Also like us on Facebook at 284media and 284BVI on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Kyla Kenesha Forbes.
And I'm Ron Grant. We'll see you again tomorrow as we deliver your daily dose of local, regional, and international content. We're 284 News, your source for honest and impartial news right here on 284 Media. Thanks for sticking with us. Happy Monday, everybody. Bye-bye.
Oh, may I assist you? Yes. You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top up power?